Good evening. This evening, we'd like to have a discussion on the children of the Most High. There's a lot of people in the world today, many people who are in different religions, who makes the claim or professes that they really know the Most High. This is in your typical religions, whether it be Christianity, the different denominations in Christianity, those that teach the Christian doctrine, whether it be Islam. There's many people in the different denominations of Islam who profess that they worship the Creator, the Most High. Whether it be different Eastern doctrines, Buddhism, or the different isms, whether it be even your typical religious circles. It seems that a lot of people, men and women, as well as children who are taught these things, they make that claim that they really know the Most High. And some people, when I say Most High, I'm talking about the dominant one. If people do have a belief that there's a Creator that is out there. Now, you do have a lot of confusion. You do have a lot of different opinions. Some people say that, of course, they use the title God. Some people say that God is a he. And then you have some people that say God is a she, or God is a beast. Different type of things that people are led to believe, and different people give their opinions on the matter. But just to give you a basic background on me, myself, and my journey in searching for the truth, is that I was raised in the Christian background ever since I was a little boy. And during the times that I was brought up in Christianity, learning, I always was intrigued. I wanted to know, who was this God, this particular one that in my familiar circle, I want to know, who was he? I want to know everything about him. And I had different struggles because I couldn't see this particular one. Also, of course, many of you who, whether you have come through that, whether those people who are still in Christianity, they have the belief system as far as the Father sending His only begotten Son. And I do believe that. However, in my journeys of being in the church world, going to church on Sundays, Bible studies, singing in the choir, I begin to really, even reading the scriptures, which I believe are true. At the same time, I also have enough knowledge that it has been given to me by our Heavenly Father, that men have done some things that they weren't supposed to do in various translations. And if you notice, the scriptures, the Bible, the Holy Bible, has been yearly has been translated. It is one of the books that have been translated massive numbers of times, to the point where it's been translated almost in every, if I'm not mistaken, every language. So, which no other book has had so much of a dynamic scale as far as translating and trying to constantly reinterpret its, the different versions. So, just giving you a brief background, I just want to know the truth, and I began to really pray and really seek and ask. And there was also different temptations as far as other religions. but certain things about them I knew wasn't right, just because, not as far as teaching, because a lot of people, when they are taught something from a little child, it's very difficult for them to really break away from that, especially when they find out that it's not true. But I was always intrigued by the lifestyle of who the individual or the individuals portrayed. And there's many people today who say, I'm Christian, I'm a Muslim, I am a Buddhist, I am a Episcopalian, different variations. But, or if they say, I follow the true one, or I follow this particular God or mighty one, the question is, what is it about your mighty one that really represents the truth? See, the thing that people don't understand, or may not have paid any close attention to or thought on, is that whoever you say you follow, whatever God or mighty one that you are being a spokesman of or spokeswoman, what is it about your life that represents who it is that you're following? You can always have one thing about all human beings on a vast scale is that we all know this. A person can tell what type of person that you are based on the life that you live. People are not dumb. Even a little child has the ability to discern in its innocent stage between good and evil. They have enough insight, wisdom, and understanding, even as a little child, to know when they look at something, that something to them doesn't feel right. Now, let me be specific, because I don't want you thinking that all children, even when I was a child, I also did mischievous things. Because one thing about a child will test you to see what is good and what is bad. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about spiritual. A child spiritually knows when something's not right. That's why you can have a child who cannot even know what a monster looks like, as we call it today. But if they see an image of something, or they experience something that frightens them, they automatically have that emotion to where they know something is not right. Vice versa, even if it's something that they find intriguing or they love something or someone, they're going to express that naturally. That's something that does not have to be taught. No little child has to be taught by their parents to love. I'm talking about verbally. That, oh, you must love this particular thing or person. A child will naturally gravitate to whatever he or she has an influence by. But sticking to the subject at hand, we as all people, and I don't care what religion that you come from, everybody out here who really seeks the truth. Now, for those of you who are not intrigued by the truth or have no desire to know if there really is one who has created the heavens and the earth, then this is not for you. But if you are one of those individuals who really have a desire for the truth, then you need to really step back and really ponder and really. Now, I'm not telling you to go into all these strange religions, but what I'm telling you is that if you really love the truth, then that means whatever is presented to you, that you're going to, number one, pray about it. Number two, you're going to examine to make sure whether this is true or false. And those are the type of struggles that I have went through. And I thank my Father and His only begotten Son, I was able to overcome those things. Let me be specific when I say my Father and His only begotten Son. Because you have many people in Christianity today that a portion would say that they believe that the Father sent his only begotten Son, which is in the scriptures, in the Holy Bible as they call it, as the scholars call it. And you have another group of people who believe in the Father, but they don't believe that he has a Son. Now, there's a good starting point, and what I mean by that is a good foundation and a good starting point is when a believer comes to the realization that there's someone who is the Creator. When they look up at the heavens, when they look up at the sky, they look at the beautiful animals, they know that this was not just spontaneous. So that's a good foundation. A person must be on a journey to the truth. See, me, I cannot force you to accept anything that I say or what's been given to me to say. That's something that you, as the individual, as the viewer, will have to consider and make a free will informed decision. So, that's a good starting point, that you recognize that there's a Creator. Now, what you need to ask yourself and really begin to search things out is who is this Creator? All of these different religions out here are trying to claim this particular one. Everyone calls him Father. Now you have some that calls him Mother. But you have to really pray and ask yourself, okay, well, who is this one? Who is he? And if you have an honest heart, if you're really truly seeking him, then, and if he knows that, the one, my Father, the one that I'm referring to, he will come to you. Now, the one that I refer to, the one that I am referring to is the one who did not create religion. So, you as the individual are going to have to really make some big decisions in your life. You're going to have to, number one, get over the fear. You're also going to have to overcome pride. Because that's one of the reasons why a lot of people can't come to truth today, is because they have so much pride. Well, I was taught this and I was taught that. So, before we go into the scriptures, you have to ask yourself, who is he? Who is this one? Now, some people, they may not know. Some people may say, well, you know, I've heard this before. I'm sure some of you out there have heard this. It's an ignorant statement. Yet it can be a sarcastic one, depending on the motive behind the question or who it is asking it. Some people may say, well, what if he is a she? And first of all, if you don't have any grounds or solid information, why would that come out of your mouth? So we have to be careful on our comments. But I do believe that the one, my Father, sent his only begotten Son into the world. For those of you who may not have come to the revelation of the Son, his Son, the Most High, that's okay. Now, for those of you who are rejecting him, then this is not for you. But for those of you who may be unsure, or for some of you who may have found out information that shows man-made religion to be nothing more than a farce, I can understand your frustration because I've been there. And I can also understand if you're not careful, it can cause you to stray away and to begin to become an atheist and not believe in anything. So I'm aware of that. But when you begin to really search and to really want to know, he will reveal not only himself, but he will reveal his son to you. Now here's another thing that you all have to keep in mind. There is an enemy out here. And whether you are aware of it or not, there are forces out here that want to keep you from coming into the knowledge of the truth. And it's going to be a challenge to be able to, especially when you have come to that complete truth and you've received it. Now you're going to have to endure, because different challenges and forces are going to come against you. And if you are not grounded, then it can cause you to fall. So I just want to share these things and give you these words of encouragement to let you all know, for you that have not yet really digest the beginning stages, that don't be discouraged. Keep on the path to truth if you really love the truth. For if it's someone that you're following, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. You know, I was always told that, well, not always, I'm sorry, but I've come to basically see that when you are able to ask questions, you'll know that a good leader or a good teacher is someone who is not going to be afraid of your questions. And they're going to try to answer your questions to the best of their knowledge. If they do not know, they'll be honest about it and let you know that they don't know. And what they would do if they're really a good, honest teacher, they'll be able to humble themselves and say, you know, I don't know, but let me seek for that answer. And that they can be honest, consistent, with integrity as far as their words and actions, and they can be able to come with that integrity and come back to you to give you that answer. So if you're following someone, look at their lifestyle, ask questions. If they're truly a teacher of truth, I'm not talking about any titles, I'm talking about the individual for who they are. If they really are a person of truth, then you're going to see that. If they're not, then you're going to see that. So, as far as whatever denomination, whatever religion that you're in, if you really have an honest heart and you really love the truth, then that means that once you receive the truth, despite what you have been taught, and when you've researched yourself and searched these things out, and when you realize that those things were not true, you will be able to let those things go. Those things will not be able to hinder you because you're a lover of the truth. That's the key. So remember that. It's very difficult for people who really do not have a true desire for the truth. And those are the ones who end up speaking things that are foolish. For example, there is no creator. See, they're speaking that as a scapegoat statement, because basically they've gotten so discouraged in their journey that they were not diligent enough to be able to say, you know what, Let me search, let me challenge what I believe in. If you believe in something, then you as that person and whatever it is that you believe should be able to challenge that. I'm not saying challenge it disrespectfully, but I'm talking about challenge what you believe in. Challenge yourself as well. Ask yourself, I don't care what religion that you're in, again, if you are a true lover of the truth, then you would test yourself and ask yourself, am I really, as a person, wholeheartedly being fully committed to what it is that I follow and believe? Also, you should not ever have to push anything on someone else to convince them. A person is going to automatically be convinced to the truth that's inside of you. See, the problem with religion today is that they're constantly looking for converts. They're looking to convert people. They want to have a certain camaraderie, so that way they're in a particular group. And because of that, they say, oh, we are Christian, or we are Muslims, or we are this and we are that. And so then you must ask yourself, well, why is it that you believe in what you believe in? Is it because that you're family, or is it because that you see a big crowd and that's the source of your belief? If that's the source of your belief, then you're in trouble. Because when the numbers begin to dwindle, so will your faith, so will your belief. So, as far as my name, that's irrelevant. For those of you who know me personally, you know that, you know who I am. However, it's not about me. It's about the one that I represent. And not just my Heavenly Father, but His only begotten Son. There'll be another time when we will speak about His Son. Because I know when I say that, many religions and denominations, they get a little bit excited because they think that I'm speaking of someone that they're familiar with as far as what they've seen on television. But I'm speaking of the one who sits on the right hand of my Creator, my King. The one who he's not a racist. He hates sin. He loves, but he hates sin. He does not play with it. He is not a compromiser. And whatever struggles that you're going through, He's not a type of master, nor His Father are going to sit there and not say anything or not react to anything or not send someone to you to speak a word to you to change your life if you're living in sin. That's not the one that I'm speaking of. So when I speak of my King, I'm not speaking of what people may consider in organized religion. That's foolishness. But in time, as I'm led, we'll get into that. We'll get into, to introduce to you who it is, His name and His Son's name, of who the ones that I serve. The ones that are my masters and the ones that are my heroes. When people look at your life, people want to know who inspired you. And that's everybody. In the religious world, in the corporate world, in whatever arena of life that you're in, people want to know who inspired you. Who is it that you look up to? And you know the sad thing is, rarely do we give credit to the truth. But in time, my prayer for those of you who love the truth is that you find the truth. Many of you are still caught in organized religion. Many of you are caught in the denominations. You're more so in tune with your religious circles. You're more so in tune with the crowd. You haven't really been taught properly. And I mean no disrespect, but it is what it is. And so I just hope that in your journey that you come out. I hope that you break every barrier, every lie that's against you. And I hope that you really find out who the one that I serve, who he is, and who his son is, my master. It is your informed decision. I want nothing from you. I'm not here for your money. But that's something that you have to try me and examine. And you have to see if this is consistent with what you're hearing. Do not get caught up in my looks, the sound of my voice. That's the problem that a lot of us make in these days that we're living in. We're very visual individuals. But if you really love the truth, then you look beyond of what you see and what you hear. You'll search for the truth, if what I say to you is true. So until next time, we shall speak again. I wish you well and peace. Thank you for your time.